Hi there, Evan Silva with the podcast, part 4 of the series on songwriting and recording. This one will be around about the I would think mid-70s coming up to the 80s. What happened was I came back from Australia and had quite an epiphany, quite a life change, quite an absolute turnaround, and started going to church. And somehow through that process, the church that I went to had an organ player, and they had a drum kit, so I played drums, and I had my acoustic, so I played acoustic, just rhythm, and due to that, I was obviously listening to the songs that they were doing, what you would call in that era the worship songs or the praise songs. And I'd already launched into writing prior to that, and so I just saw it as an opportunity to write some songs about the way I was feeling. And it started off not so much songs for a congregation as such to sing, or similar, but I just started writing things that I was feeling myself, in my own soul, in my own heart, in my own spirit. And so I started to put some things together. They were pretty simplistic, although, I managed to find some nice changes in amongst them. They were probably 4 chorded songs, and before long, other people started hearing about it. The funny thing was, the strange thing was, there seemed to be from the senior minister some sort of kind of weird edge. I would have called it jealousy, which I found out later for that to be true, but anyway, I sort of semi-ignored that and carried on writing. And then what happened, quite out of the blue, I had a call from, again, what was recognised or accepted as a senior minister from a big church in Auckland City, Queen Street Assembly of God, which is a pretty big church. It was like 2,500 people on a Sunday, 3,000 people. And I had a call from the senior minister asking me, it was either him or his music director, asking me if I'd be interested in recording an album which was cassette. And the idea of the album was already functioning. This was called Music for Missions, which it was music to send to their huge missions organisation around the world. It was massive. And so I already had a couple of songs, and so I met with him and discussed it, and he explained how it would sort of come together for me to select a couple of musicians. They had other musicians in there. They had cello players, they had piano players, they had all kinds of stuff going on there. In fact, 2 of the guys from the Action were in there. So there was some connection already. So anyway, after the discussion with him, I came back and I talked to Carol about it, and we decided to go for it. Let's do this thing. And there was quite a reaction from the senior pastor or minister of the church that we were attending at the time, was quite a new church out in West Auckland. We were very, very involved. I was anyway. Well, so was Carol, but by then I was probably preaching every Sunday and all kinds of stuff. So anyway, I wrote a number of songs, probably about 13 songs for this cassette, and we called it To Bring Blessing. And we recorded it at 510 Queen Street, right up the top of Queen Street on the left-hand side when you're going up. There's an old church there, or building there, that was used as a church, possibly the original Assemblies of God, Queen Street Assemblies of God, before they moved to the town hall. So I got together with a few people, bass player, guitar player, keyboard players, guitar player, etc. A couple of guitar players, in fact, and put the songs together, rehearsed them, and some charts were knocked out, and we went into 510 Queen Street, and we probably spent a weekend in there. We went till the early hours of the morning, I remember, and we had all sorts of fabric draped around the room to soak up some of the sound and knock out some of the reverb spread, etc., just to dampen things down. And it was Malcolm Hogg that engineered it, and he was upstairs where the offices were. He was set up there with a reel-to-reel recording, and we had things mic'd up and amps, etc. And so we spent, like I say, possibly the weekend, maybe a Friday night till a Sunday or something like that. We knocked out about 13 songs. I wrote a song for a couple who had missionary friends that we knew, and they just got married. I wrote a song called This Is My Desire, which these songs went all around the world, man. It was unbelievable. At that stage, I didn't think I even registered them with APRA or anything like that. Absolutely ignorant of how that all worked. But the songs went everywhere, and the songs were sung by a lot of churches every Sunday morning and Sunday evening, not just in New Zealand, around the world. And, it just sort of rolled off my back. I didn't kind of think, oh man, you're famous or whatever, any of that stuff. Oh, your songs have been played all around the world. Whoa, whoa, I didn't even go there. But there was one moment when I was in the church in the town hall one Sunday morning to the morning service, and I was up on the second floor with Carol and a couple of others, and there's 2,500 people, and all of a sudden, two of my songs are sung while I'm there. I heard the song and I thought, familiar, and I looked at Carol and I said, that's my song, So it was quite a buzz for that to happen. It was quite neat. So we spent that weekend hammering out these songs. In fact, we knocked the rhythm section down pretty quick. There wasn't drums on everything. There was drums on a couple of tracks, but it wasn't heavily drummed. And but some nice feels, nice chord changes. I did the lead vocals, and then we had a small group of singers, 4 or 5 singers, that some were just doing harmonies with me on my lead vocal, and others were doing like joint vocals, sort of BV lines, or coming in choruses and things like that. So it was a fantastic time for me in that it helped me develop some sort of arrangement skill. Listening to a song and then going, okay, it needs a lift about here, it needs to go somewhere else now, or it needs something else added. And so, of course, I would do things like add a really nice harmony, or somebody would sing a harmony with me, or we'd bring in vocals on the chorus, you know, the odd R and ooh here and there. There were some guitar solos, there were some very basic keyboard solos in amongst there, but it really did help me develop I guess it's the skill of arrangement, you know, listening to a song and, you know, coming in light and just building the song and then taking it into a really cool bridge. I would often try and use a slightly different chord for the change to the bridge, not your naturals, and so just to give it some sort of different entry. So that was an incredible learning curve for me in that first album, and it was like also a variety of styles. You know, there were some acoustic things there with quite neat feels and congas. There were some things with a bit of life. There was some pretty laid back stuff, quite sort of emotionally kind of uplifting, sort of spiritual, I suppose. So that's when we did that first cassette. And then after that, I moved on to other things, but that was my real entry into songwriting and recording in the early stages, and that would have been 79, 80, around about. And so, yeah, I mean, pretty amazing really to do that and have it immersed in you know, those huge numbers. They would record. Malcolm would do all the engineering. Then they would mix that. Then they'd you know, do a cover for it. It was all put in cassette cases, packed up and all that sort of stuff, you know, and then sent off all around the world. But also it was available here in New Zealand and beyond, I think. And so it's pretty amazing to have that opportunity for your first sort of shot like that to cover so much territory. And you know, years later I received letters. I've still got them somewhere in a filing cabinet from people all around the world, man, just saying thank you very much, really appreciated the songs, and we love this song here, you know, blah blah blah, and comments about the songs and stuff. All that I remember, they're all very positive comments, and so I felt like, you know, a bit of a tick of approval, and then yeah, one down, and so, and then from there we moved on to other albums. So anyway, that was my first immersion, I suppose, full immersion into writing and actually recording. And it was simple. You know, there wasn't a lot of gear available, so we had mic stands, mics and everything set up. We put the rhythm section down together live. It would have been piano, bass, guitar and drums. And I think even we managed to have a vocal booth shielded, maybe perspex, you know, it was perspex or whatever, off, and I was in there with cans listening to that live band. I may have even gone down with the live band, the vocals, but just with some separation or whatever in amongst it all, you know. So we had that on the floor, separation. It was probably mainly, I think we had screams. Yes, we had screams up and that. So quite similar to in some of the, you know, major recording studios. So we managed to get a pretty good sound, managed to get some separation, managed to get a good mix on stuff. And so that was my first shot at songwriting at that level and then recording at that level. And then, of course, from there, from 1979-80, I mean, it's, you know, gosh, it's just history now. It just took a huge leap. And so I'll come back in Series 5 and carry on what happened after To Bring Blessing, that first cassette that went all around the world. All right, so over and out from me.
We have come to worship the Lord. We have come to honor and uphold thy name. We have come to seek thee in this holy place, to behold Jesus in his glory, seated on the throne. Oh, how I love to sing to him this song. Singing hallelujah. For to live, living is to know you and to love thy way. And that is why we sing this song of praise. Singing hallelujah, singing hallelujah, singing hallelujah. We have come to worship the Lord. We have come to honor and uphold thy name. We have come to seek thee in this holy place, to behold Jesus in his glory, seated on the throne. Oh, how I love to sing to him this song, singing hallelujah, singing hallelujah, singing hallelujah. We have come to worship the Lord, singing hallelujah, singing we have come to worship the Lord.